business.techmw.
I do have quite a few MacBooks, maybe too many, but I don't think you can ever have too many. This isn't all of them. I've got PowerBooks and all sorts, but I just wanted to lay these out. So we've got the 2006, the 2020 MacBook Pro M1, and this, a 2017 MacBook Air. And you probably won't believe me when I say I got this for £101.99. I spent just over £100 and got a 2017 MacBook Air. But let's just take these away. I always find the actual weight of the lid is enough to pull the whole thing up when you open it, which is a bit annoying, but it didn't do it this time, so that's pretty cool. This is it, and it is running Catalina. Now, the reason I've got it running Catalina is because I think it's a faster operating system than Monterey, which it can run, but I like Catalina. For the same reasons as I run Catalina on this iMac, everything still works, so I don't really need a newer operating system. Why was this £100? Well, in the description of the listing, the seller claimed that this had a dying battery. It was on 35% health. I can confirm that. The only thing about this is if it gets to about 40%, it will just die immediately. But going from 100% to that 40%, it drains at about the speed you'd expect on one of these anyway. So as long as I keep it above 40%, it's perfectly usable. Considering that's like the only condition for £100, this is pretty good. In the UK, these will run you by 300, 350 still, and I was able to get one for 100. So, you know, let me just unmount these. We don't need these at the moment. Let's go over the specs of this. It's a 13-inch 2017 model with the 1.8 gigahertz i5 5350U, 8 gigs of RAM, and Intel HD graphics 6000. The Intel HD graphics in this are actually more powerful than the Radeon 6750M that I had in my 2011 iMac. So any of those gaming benchmarks you saw should theoretically run better on this. Aside from the battery issue, this thing is in near perfect cosmetic condition. There's obviously some blemishes and some marks, but they can be wiped off anyway, but there's no scratches. If I turn it upside down here, those are scratches there, and there's a couple around here, but honestly, looking at the condition of this, it looks like it's maybe been used for a year, and that's it. Now, for pretty much anybody at uni, etc., a 2017 MacBook Air is still perfectly usable. I have actually been using this over my M1 MacBook Pro for about a week just to see if it is usable, and I've been using all the same programs, and it runs really well. Honestly, after a while, I've kind of stopped thinking about it. It really does run great. One area where I will say this MacBook is definitely worse than the M1 is the speakers. So I'll demonstrate the speakers quickly for you. Line up properly anymore. It's, yeah. We're going to turn this thing into like a Commodore 64 kind of thing where we rip the screen off, and then it's just going to be used as, like, you know, with a keyboard and track. They are a bit distorted and they sound very tinny. I don't know if that's just their design or if it's just because they've been played too loud once and now they become distorted. As you can see, it handles the video just fine. This is at 1080p. In terms of watching YouTube and things like that, absolutely no issues whatsoever. And you can just see scrolling down the page is just pretty much just as fast as it would be on an M1. Now, when you do load heavier apps like iMovie, they do take a while to open. So this is taking kind of longer than 20 seconds. I haven't really tried proper video editing on this yet, but I'm sure it would be fine, to be completely honest. Let's see if this MacBook Air can run Minecraft. I do wonder, being completely honest. So I've got 1.20.4 installed and we'll play that. So we are using the i5 5350U, as I mentioned earlier. So it's a dual core, I believe 4-thread CPU, which is not terrible. Dual core is a little bit iffy nowadays, but it should realistically run the game fine. So let's give it a go. Okay, so that took about 2 minutes. Ooh, a little bit of a choppy frame rate, I won't lie. If we just take the simulation distance down to 0, put it down to something like 8 chunks, and then put that down to 60 FPS. Yeah, I mean, it's running fine, to be honest. Like, being completely honest, this is fine. I could play this. Think about how slow Minecraft has been on like the G4s and stuff like that. We've seen much slower Minecraft. This is definitely playable. Let's have a look at the frame rate. 27 FPS, but this is oh. Okay. I hope the MacBook hasn't just died fully. I hope that's just to do with the battery. Right, this video seems to have taken an unexpected turn. I am hoping that that was just the battery. So if it is just the battery, I wonder if it's just a case of the voltage dropping too low causes it to turn off. We would have been pulling quite a lot of power then. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so the MacBook isn't dead. It's just, I think if you pull too much power, when it's not plugged in. The battery just reads the voltage too low and it just powers off. But it is still reading that we're at 75%. I think it's a pretty accurate percentage. Trying to pull too much voltage from this battery because it's in fairly low health will cause it to just shut off, as it just did. And look, we've got loads of people talking about PCs and stuff. Anyway, this has been an interesting overview because I was coming into this thinking this is a great value MacBook for £100, you know, suitable for people doing university, college, all of that. Now that that's happened, I'm not so sure. However, you can get a brand new battery for this for easily less than £100. Now, considering, at least in my country, these are 300 at least, you're still paying nearly half of what you ordinarily would, and you're getting the same machine. So I think if you can find one of these with a battery that is declining in health for around £100 to £150 and you replace the battery, it is still worth buying. It does work really well. It's got a great keyboard, it's got a great trackpad. With a new battery it will be reliable. It's got a great screen, even though it is lower resolution, it still looks really good and it's still really bright. So to me, that's not a problem at all. Overall, yeah, I would recommend it if you can get one for this price. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please do consider leaving it a like and subscribing to the channel. And also don't forget to join the Discord server. It is a very fun place to be, and I'm on there quite a lot, so you can talk to me directly if you want. Thank you very much for watching this one, and I will see you in the next video.